What is up, guys? Christian here with another Chalk Talk with a very special guest here, Ms. Laura Bond. Jumping right into it, we're going to break it into four quarters since we are in sports and entertainment. So the four quarters will consist of the preseason. Jumping right into it, start off with a brief introduction of yourself, Ms. Laura. Name, where you're from, and where you work. And then what is one aspect of sports you appreciate the most?
My name is Laura Bonds. I am a community impact coordinator for the Portland Timbers and the Portland Thorns. The aspect that I love the most is the passion, and that kind of applies to every aspect of sports, whether it's fans, corporate partners, front office employees, the players. It all kind of brings everything together. So, like, it drives sports and it drives community, especially forward.
Absolutely. And going to your point of bringing everything together and pushing, going back to your point of how sports can be a bridge and connector within communities. When you were younger, what did you initially want to do for a career?
I actually had no idea what I wanted to do for a career when I was younger, like literally no idea at all. And so I always thought that that was bad, but it really isn't bad if you don't know what you want to do because you will figure it out. But eventually I just decided on business to study business because I figured everything in the grand scheme is a business in one way or another. So you could use that and be versatile in what you want to do.
So I know for myself that I didn't know that there was sports business growing up,
Mm-hmm.
or I always thought that it was always like you could be a reporter or you can be an athlete. So who was a person, or how did you initially get into, and how did you get introduced to the sports world, and when did you see that there was opportunities within sports?
So my brother decided to pursue sports business, but he wanted to work more in like baseball operations side, which I love baseball. And I was like, that's so cool. He can do that. I can do that too, which is like everything that we did growing up. If he could do it, I could do it. But so he pursued that. And then when I started to go that route, I realized that there were more opportunities on the business side, which I could use my business degree for. So I went that direction knowing that I love baseball, but if I watched it every day, that might be something that I don't love anymore. I tried to stay away and keep the passions separate.
Absolutely. Going to the point of you being really competitive, about you and your brother saying you can, anything he can do, you can do better. How has that competitive spirit helped in your early sports career and your career as a whole?
It definitely helps a lot because there's always something that's going to come up or people are going to tell you no because the sports industry is so competitive. But my competitive drive kind of helps me keep going. So like when I'm told no, I'm like, yeah, watch me do it. It just helps me become better and better myself, not only as a person, but in my career too.
So going into your current role with the Timbers and the Thorns, if a student were to shout at you, what would they see you doing on your day to day?
Well, every day is different, so that would depend on the day. But it could be anywhere from like pulling together an auction, pulling items and putting that up and making that go live, to fulfilling the auction and coordinating pickups and mailing stuff out for bidders, getting ready for our 50-50 raffle at a home game, working with corporate partners on cause marketing campaigns, working with nonprofits to schedule events. Also, I kind of have my toes dipped in merchandise a little bit because the community platform has its own merchandise line as part of a fundraising initiative, as well as social strategy because the community platform also has its own social media accounts.
What would you say is two most satisfying pieces of your job?
I would say that having my toes dipped into like everything is definitely satisfying because there are a lot of moving parts and that is kind of what keeps me going. I'd rather be super busy and making sure that I'm involved in as much as possible versus not being super busy and kind of just wondering what to do. But then the other aspect that I love the most is being able to put in all the work and see the bigger picture and the impact that you're making on a daily basis and seeing that in the community with the nonprofits and the kids that you're working with.
And going back to your point of sports being a really big moving part and a lot of things going on at the same time, what is that one skill that has helped you really succeed and stay sustainable in your career?
I don't know that it would necessarily be a skill that you would just like jot down on your resume. But for me, it's like having the grit and the perseverance to get through anything. So whether that's being told no, trying to find a job, or obstacles coming up and making your events go haywire at the last second, and just like having that grit and being able to push through and overcome obstacles has been really helpful.
Perfect. So we're going to end off in the playoffs with some powerful career advice for you for the high school students. So if you could go back and tell your high school self one piece of advice, what would you tell yourself?
I would say that I would tell myself that it's okay to not know all the answers, because at the end of the day, no one has all the answers. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be a high school student, you can be a coordinator, you can be a VP. You don't have all the answers, and you never will. So just push yourself to keep learning and keep understanding and asking questions to gain different perspectives.
Absolutely. And what is the very next step a high school student should take after this camp to potentially be in a career like yours or a position like yours?
I would say get involved in as much as possible. Try new opportunities, volunteer, apply for an internship, reach out to someone and ask if they have 20 minutes to talk about their career. Do what you need to do to expose yourself to different perspectives and different opportunities, and then kind of take that and channel that into, okay, I like this, okay, I don't like this, and use that information to help push yourself forward.
Thank you, Ms. Laura Bonds, for joining us on our Talk high school students campers. Be on the lookout for more content. We have a bunch more really interesting people such as Laura coming in for more content, so be on the lookout for that. With that being said, we're going to wrap this Talk up. I want to thank you again, Ms. Laura.
Thank you.
And we are officially out. Peace.
Peace.